Hello everyone, hello Biafrans, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We have come with another update, and that's from one of the Yoruba lawyers who always says the truth the way he says it. He has something to talk about Igbos, not being concerned about what is happening in Nigeria, especially the hunger and the scarcity of everything. He said Igbo have over time learned how to be on their own from childhood, not minding whether they have certificate or not. They take care of themselves, bullshitting the government because government over time has been trampling upon them. And that is why Igbos are agitating. Forget about those that the politicians that are getting some token from federal government. They are the people that say no. Create one state, we will stay and we will not agitate again. They are criminals. They don't care about the interest of others. If they do, they will sound alike. But because they have selfish interest, because their own envelope is a bit fat, not knowing that what they are getting is crumb from the table. The people that are carrying the major thing are the Northerners and the Yorubas. So they are the ones that should be saying Nigeria should stay together and not any individual from Igbo race. If you do, Afotaragimiri, you're a wicked soul. That is why the guy has this note to drop. And if you listen to the end, you'll be able to say, oh, he's saying the truth or not. If he's not saying the truth, what do you think that made Igbos to say, to hell with Nigeria? What do you think that made them to say that? I want us to, key into that conversation. It's actually an audio. So after it, you drop your comment and your opinion, and also help us to push to others so that they will to confirm what we are talking about. Thank you. God bless you.
When Nigeria had not become the evil forest that it is today, it was just in his infancy at that time. The Igbo man learned that the government has nothing for him. So he learned to survive on his own. You will rarely ever find an Igbo man applying to the civil service or looking for a salary job. So the average one, even the ones I went to university with, they will go and attach themselves to somebody in the market. They will learn a trade. So they learned to do without government. They learned to discount the government completely, which means that the Igbo man is better equipped than any other Nigerian to cope with our current circumstances, where the government has become completely useless. The Igbo man was already prepared for the uselessness of the government. So now that he is prepared for it, and everybody else have now decided to stigmatize the Igbo man, I can't blame the Igbo man for turning around and saying, it's none of my business, enjoy your government. He didn't enjoy anything from the government before. So for somebody, and I'm talking about the average Igbo man who is like me and you. I'm not talking about the Ojius or Kalus of this world or the Okorochas of this world who have always fed on the grievances of Ndi Igbo and made money by appeasement of government and then presuming to speak on behalf of. I'm not speaking to those ones. I'm speaking for the average man on the street who grew up believing that he has no portion in Nigeria, which was what fed the Biafran spirit and the demand for Biafra even 50 years after the Civil War. So I'm not speaking to the man on the street of Alaigbo. I'm not speaking to the trader in Alaba or at Aspanda or at Ladipo. All those ones, they have always lived with the mentality of being victims of the system. So when a victim of the system is telling you, leave me out of your protest, go and deal, because he wasn't gaining anything from the system in the first place. So if he wasn't gaining anything from the system in the first place, he has nothing to lose if the situation becomes... The only thing that is happening now is that more victims are being recruited into the Nigerian mess. So why should he, who was always a victim, further victimize himself by joining those he believes are responsible for his victimhood? Unfortunately, it only assures the victimization of everybody. But it is now incumbent on those of us who know better to help him to understand that, yes, we understand that that was yesterday. But for us to all come out of this together, you would have to move away from that pain to now walk. Now at least everybody is now suffering. Yorubas will say that it means that until suffering is democratized, it is not possible to end it. The suffering in Nigeria has now been democratized. Long ago, I predicted that the Nigerian revolution will start in northern Nigeria. The only reason I said so at the time is because the North had always been the reason we could not find common purpose to fight the evil. But now that the person in power in the presidency is not a northerner and is at best a nominal Muslim, and the suffering has now been fully democratized, the northern street, I'm not talking about the northern elite, the northern street has no interest in forbearing and continuing to suffer. Why is it that all of a sudden everything that they tolerated during the years of Muhammadu Buhari is no longer tolerable? Have you considered that? Look, I don't know how long it's going to take, but if this mess continues, the problem that will consume this government will start in northern Nigeria. It's not going to start in the east. The Igbo man has more or less taken a position. I was always a victim. Go and solve your problem. Leave me alone in my little corner. If you like, steal all the money in the world. You still take that money to a market to go and buy something. And who will you find in the market when you get there? You find the Igbo man there. Whether it's food you are buying, whether it's building material, whether it's car, you find the Igbo man is there in the market waiting for you. So he's already in a position of advantage. So why would he disadvantage himself unless you people show him a readiness for change? So that is where we are right now. It might seem like nothing is going to happen, but something will definitely happen. This system is not sustainable.
As well, it's going to happen, in this our time now. In this recent time now, it's going to happen, in a jiffy. It's going to happen in a jiffy, but it will only happen in a hurry if we maintain only, not just if, only if we maintain the momentum. Pay very good attention, my people. It's going to happen very, very soon. Remember where I'm coming from. Only if we maintain the momentum. But it's going to delay. If it's to come, if it's to happen, it will definitely happen. Biafra will come, whether we like it or not, whether anybody likes it or not. Biafra will come. It doesn't matter how they play the politics, Biafra will come. It doesn't matter how they delay it, Biafra will come. So, but I'm saying that the only thing out of this very big storm happening now in Biafra movement, which is going to give birth to Biafra independence very, very soon. This very, very soon, it has, in fact, it comes into two different ways. The first one, it will give birth to Biafra independence as soon as possible, depending on how we manage and maintain the momentum, or else it will stop Biafra from coming right now. Not that it's going to stop Biafra from coming completely, but it's just going to stop Biafra from coming now. So it's going to delay Biafra. Instead of coming now, it will come later. Are you getting me? So now that is one part of it. Then the other part of it is that this very storm that is happening now is either brings Biafra now or delays Biafra to the next generation. Very, very important. What I'm explaining today, I haven't explained it before. Thank you so much, Cliff Ibe. Cliff Ibe, thank you for your super chat. I appreciate you. All right, we continue. Now, what I'm saying, please, if you want to give me super chat, if you can try to write something under it, I will appreciate, so I can read your comment. Very, very important. When I appreciate you, I would like to read your comment, even if it's to tell me well done. It is okay, so that I can be able. I like it when I appreciate you and I read your comment at the same time. It gives me joy. So we continue. Now, you see this very storm happening now. It comes in two different ways. If they succeed, they will push the Biafra restoration, the coming of Biafra, to the next generation. If it's to come, Biafra will come. Nobody can stop it because it is God's project. But if they fail, then it's going to bring Biafra now, as we have planned, as the government in exile has planned. Now, having told you this, let me begin the dissection of what I have said. Now, you see, the storm, the biggest storm, which is going on now, which is happening now in the Biafra agitation, is that the vultures are gathering. They want to change the ideology of what we are doing or what we are fighting for into a different thing. And they don't just want to change the ideology, but they will come with enormous pressure. I want you to listen and listen very, very good. If you may, please write everything that I'm saying right now. Write it down. Write them on a sheet of paper, if you may. So, what am I trying to say? The vultures are gathering. The jackals, the hyenas, they are all gathering. The white dog, they are all gathering. The bull, the elephant, they are all gathering. And you know what? They are gathering for one purpose. If you haven't liked or shared the broadcast, please endeavor to do so. I want this very broadcast to go very, very viral. Extremely viral. I want it to go very, very viral. It's going to be very, very important. So those vultures, jackals, hyenas, and all of them gathering at the moment should listen and know that I'm a farmer and not wherever in a chefa. Now, these vultures and hyenas who are gathering, they are not just gathering, they are not just trying to change the ideology, but they are gathering with speed. They are gathering with their own ideas. They are gathering with enormous pressure. And this enormous pressure will be heaped on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Listen and listen very, very attentively, my people. This enormous pressure that they are coming with will be heaped on one man, which is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And through Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they will get to us, all of us. I want you to pay attention. Through Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which the whole pressure is heaping on, they will get to us. But, there is but there, very big but, B-U-T, capital B-U-T, but. When they get to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, it is 50-50. It's either Mazi Nnamdi Kanu succumbs to the pressure, because the pressure will be very, very huge. I'm going to explain the pressure to you. So it's either Mazi Nnamdi Kanu succumbs to the pressure, or overcomes the pressure. I don't know if you are listening. Now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu succumbing to the pressure will not stop the coming of Biafra, but it's going to cause chaos worse than what we passed through in the hands of the DOS before we defeated them and gave them vote of no confidence. It will be chaos. The chaos will be intense. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu succumbs to the pressure, it's going to cause very big chaos in the freedom that we are pursuing. But if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu defeats the pressure, then it's not just going to give a boost to what we are doing, but it's going to alleviate a lot of minds to what we are doing. But it will also cause a lot of pain to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Pay attention, please. Now, having explained, remember the last word, is going to cause a lot of pain to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Remember that. Now, let me start explaining this pressure. The pressure is this. After the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the Biafra Republic government in exile that we have today, which started with autopilot, managed to keep the struggle, managed to hold the struggle up there. Now, we did not allow the struggle to fall. Meanwhile, by the time these whole things were happening, all these vultures, jackals, and hyenas were watching why their boys that they recruited paid humongous amount of money in order to destroy the struggle. Since they have gotten the leader, they sat back and watched all of us battle it out, media-wise, and of course on ground. They didn't say anything. They didn't do anything. They were just watching, believing that their boys that they recruited have the capacity to defeat us, the genuine ones. They forgot that the truth is only thing that stands the test of time. So, as we defeated them, their boys, gave them vote of no confidence, they now saw that their boys that they recruited and paid humongous amount of money have failed to do their bidding. Now they have come out en masse. They have come out en masse trying to thwart what we are doing, trying to destroy what we are doing with their own ideology. Now, let me begin the explanation. The pressure is this. Since they have seen that we have succeeded in holding up the struggle without letting it fall and die completely, which was the sole target of kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to destroy the agitation for Biafra, to stop the Biafra from coming, in order for them to keep on their criminal activities in Nigeria, for them to keep on impoverishing the poor masses, the majority of the Biafran people, so that they keep on making us, stealing our money, the public fund, robbing us, destroying our lives, sending youths to the early grave. This is what they wanted. Buying houses in Dubai, London, Europe, America, living large, while the poor keep suffering. This is what they wanted. But we have made it impossible for them to achieve this goal. Then they have come out right now. Now, they started in trying to get Mazi Simon Ekpa to succumb. It failed woefully because Mazi Simon Ekpa never giving them any attention. You all heard Maxwell. You all heard what Maxwell said. Maxwell said that he traveled to Europe, went to Belgium to see the prime minister. No, he went to Germany. Then the prime minister told him, let us see in Belgium. He waited in Belgium. Finally, he couldn't see the prime minister. Rather, prime minister told him, let us speak on phone. They spoke on phone. The prime minister told him that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said whatever he said, why AK-47 is on his head. Therefore, he cannot listen. So that very statement broke the camel's back. So now they tried everything they could. The prime minister did not give them any attention. They saw that that side is no-go area, just like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was no-go area until they find a way to kidnap him. So they now try to kidnap Mazi Simon Ekpa. No way. They try with normal extradition. It didn't work because the Finland told them that he has never committed any offense known to law for us to hand him over to you. What he's fighting for is his right, his freedom, is his inalienable right to fight for his freedom. So therefore, he has never committed any offense. So they have seen that it is impossible to extradite the prime minister through legal means. They tried extraordinary rendition, it's not working. They tried sending kidnappers, it didn't work. They tried sending suicide bomber, it didn't work. Now they are tired. So what have they decided to do? They have decided to use this enormous pressure to pressurize Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to drop the Biafra agitation. Now, this pressure is coming in this form. They gathered, these Southeast politicians and the Ohaneze Ndioshi criminals, gathered and decided what to do. They said, listen, I have gotten to that very climax. They said to themselves, since we cannot stop these young boys, these youths, these young boys from fighting the establishment, from fighting the system, since it is glaring that we cannot stop them from fighting the system, let us utilize this opportunity. Let us turn it into our own favor. Listen, my people. Like as I said before, what I'm explaining today, I've never explained it before. What they are saying now, what they have decided, said to themselves, is that since we can't stop them, let us turn the situation into our favor. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is now in our own hand. He's with us here. Let us first of all leave the one that called himself Simon Ekpa, since we cannot reach him. Let us focus on Nnamdi Kanu that is with us. Let us, since he has suffered for 3 years, he has suffered for 3 years, he has smelled iron for 3 years, let us use this opportunity to turn the whole situation into our own favor. What are they looking for? Now, they want to use Nnamdi Kanu to hold the Zoo federal government to ransom. Pay very good attention, my people. I have not started playing the video because this explanation is very, very paramount. So they want to use Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to hold the federal government to ransom in order to give them what they want. So, in fact, the Southeast politicians and Ohaneze criminals want to use the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They want to use one stone to buy 2 birds. Very important. Listen. Now, they want to use Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to normalize their own situation and write their name in the good book of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and then use the same opportunity to hold the federal government of the zoo to ransom. Because how are they going to use the situation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to normalize their own situation, to write their own names in the good books of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Somebody's asking if this is live. This is live. Today's date is 7th of July, 2024. Now, how do they want to achieve this? They want to achieve this by persuading Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to accept the political solution and drop Biafra agitation, get freed, and compensation that runs in millions of dollars. That runs in millions of dollars. Now, as if that is not enough, this one is from the Southeast politicians and Ohanese criminals. Get compensated with millions of dollars. Now, after convincing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to get this, and it's not going to come by mere conviction, they are coming with threat. That's why I told you they are coming with enormous pressure. Pay attention. They are going to threaten Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Should you refuse our offer, we are going to tell the federal government of the zoo to put you in a very serious and severe pain, severe condition that you cannot even afford to accept. The condition you are going to see yourself will be unacceptable to your own body and your flesh. And they are going to tell Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we are going to abandon you. We will abandon you. They will tell Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that this is the only opportunity that you have to accept our offer and be free. If you fail to accept this offer, we will abandon you and you will suffer. And you are not going to see anybody, any so-called stakeholders. You know, whenever you hear critical stakeholders, they are talking about the criminals. They are thieves. You are not going to see for your release. Listen and listen very, very good, my people. I'm telling you the pressure, the threat that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to receive moving forward. And that threat has already started. As I'm talking to you right now, that threat has started. Anytime you hear anybody went to visit Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that is the threat. But they are starting again with the promises and trying to convince Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to accept their offer. So when the serious threat begins, I will let you know that the threat has started. I will come here and tell you that the main threat now has started. Right now, what they are doing now is using all kinds of mechanism to try and convince Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because they believe that if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released, he's able to stop us and stop Mazi Samanekpa from fighting for Biafra again. Now, do you know what is going to happen? After the threat, during that threat, it is either Mazi Nnamdi Kanu accepts it or he leaves it. That's why I told you it is coming in two different ways. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu accepts it, then the chaos which I talked about, is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will now come out and start fighting us, because we will never accept to drop Biafra. I want you to pay attention and follow. Even if I don't play a video that I wanted to play, I will be okay after this broadcast. Now, the chaos which is going to delay, pay very good attention, the chaos which is going to delay the Biafra from coming is that we are going to enter into another war again, which is different from the battle of liberation, because there will be loyalists who will follow what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to say. When I say loyalists, I'm talking about men on ground, not even on media. I personally have sworn that I will never fight or antagonize or attack Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I have sworn. That is for me. That is my personal opinion. But there will be loyalists. There will be loyalists who will fight against those who still want to be free, who don't want political solution. So it's going to do what? The chaos will cause delay to what we are doing. So that is only if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu dances to their tone, which is not coming, which is not happening. Now, if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu defeats the pressure of accepting their useless political solution, which means Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will still stand on Biafra or nothing, then they will tell Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you are going to rot in jail. That is going to be their final word to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Now, after that, they will now go and tell the federal government, Tinubu and co., to suffer Mazi Nnamdi Kanu the more. To suffer him the more. Now, the second stone which these politicians and Ohaneze criminals want to use to buy the second bed, yes, the second bed that the politicians and Ohaneze Ndioshi want to use to buy. Wants to use, how will I put it? The second bed that the politicians and the Ohaneze want to buy with the same stone. Yes, that is the right word. The second bed that they want to buy with the same stone is to use that same opportunity, because the federal government of the zoo as it stands right now is panicking. Let me make this clear. The federal government of the zoo is panicking over the Biafra issue. If you are not aware, I want you to know it today. I'm not talking about the Southeast politicians now. The federal government of the zoo, controlled by the Fulani, is panicking over the Biafra issue. In fact, it is the biggest headache to the federal government of the zoo. It is the biggest headache to the army of the zoo. It is the biggest headache to the police of the zoo. It is the biggest headache to every politician all across the zoological republic. Every, both local level, those operating in the local level, and those operating in the federal level. Biafra exodus, Biafra liberation is the biggest headache to the politicians in the zoo today. So now, and the Southeast politicians and Ohaneze criminals are aware that the Biafra liberation, Biafra exit, is the biggest headache to the federal government. So they now want to utilize the opportunity to antagonize the federal government, to hold the federal government to ransom. I want you to follow. Pay very good attention. This is very, very important. So they want to use this opportunity, which is the second bed that they want to buy with one stone. They want to use this opportunity to hold them to ransom, so that the federal government of the zoo will be able to do their bidding. And Peter Obi is being positioned. Peter Obi has been positioned to play the biggest role. Listen and listen very, very attentively, my people. They all have positioned Peter Obi to use him and play the biggest role. Now, what are these things the Igbo politicians and the Ohaneze criminals want to achieve? As they have noticed that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a menace, is a very big headache to the zoo government And Biafra exit is the biggest issue at the moment right now in the zoo. So they want to use Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to negotiate the Igbo political agenda in the Zoological Republic. So now, if they manage to convince Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they will now be on the higher, they will have the upper hand. Listen, I know they are listening right now because now we have over 1,000 something listening. So one of them is here. Now, if they manage to negotiate with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and succeed, which they have failed already before taking up the journey, that one I can tell them for free. Now they will be on the higher side. They will have the upper hand when negotiating with the federal government. What they want to negotiate with the federal government is this. Listen, we have managed to convince this man, Muhammadia, this young man, to drop these Biafra matters on one condition. That the Igbo people are crying that their own issues are not being considered in the zoo. Are you willing to do this and that for us so that Biafra agitation will end? The federal government will ask them, what do you want? Because they know, the Igbo politicians are aware that the zoo called Nigeria is feeding from Biafra land. They know. So the Biafra people can decide to cut it off. Now they will tell the federal government, they will list all their demands to the federal government of the zoo. Are going to list all their demands, everything they want, which includes allocations, more ministerial positions, and above all, the biggest target is 2027 presidency of Mr. Peter Obi. Now, that is the that is now, in fact, this is what is on table. I know if they are listening to me now, they will be mad. They will be asking, who told this man our plan? They'll be asking themselves. It is no longer planned because it's already in the public. I'm telling the Ohanese criminals, I'm telling the Igbo politicians, it is no longer a secret because it is now in the public. They want to use one stone to buy two birds at the same time. Now, on our own side, we have sworn never in any way pay attention to anybody that says something contrary to the total freedom of the Biafran people. That is where Mazi Samonekpa stands. That is where Biafra Unite stands. That is where Biafra Government in Exile stands. That is where Biafra Liberation Army stands. That is where every genuine Biafran who have voted for Biafra referendum stand. Every genuine Biafran who has voted for Biafra referendum and those who are still going to vote during this second phase and third stage of the Biafra referendum, that is where we all stand. Total freedom, because we have gone beyond, we have crossed the Rubicon. So the problem they have now, the main problem that they have now, is how to convince Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to accept this their devilish offer. That is the biggest problem. They can manage to convince the zoo government, they can manage to convince the Fulani government, fine. In as much as Fulani keep on making the oil, in as much as they still maintain their oil wells in Biafra land, they can easily manipulate them. They can easily do whatever, negotiate whatever. It doesn't change anything. Tinubu himself will agree. But the main problem is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And the only thing, let me say this today, the only thing that the Zoo government wants to hear before they release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will end the Biafra agitation. That is the only thing. The Zoo is not even ready to listen. All this security thing they're talking about, the Zoo doesn't care about that. Sit at home you are talking about is not the main thing that the Zoo wants to hear now. The main thing the Zoo wants to hear is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has accepted to drop the Biafra agitation. And now, the problem there is this. The Southeast politicians and the Johannesburg criminals cannot manage to offer that to the federal government of the Zoo, because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, from beginning, when I explained to you the evil in the port of political solution, that was in 2021. When I told you I got an information, intel, authentic one, the true meaning, the 4 agendas of political solution, I told you it is dead and buried. So, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu still stand there till tomorrow. So there's a problem. There is a very big problem. Now, let us start with this video and dissecting this, their statement and whatever, rubbish they want to, bring out there to confuse the gullible. Now, let's watch and listen to them. Please, I want you to use this opportunity to share this very broadcast. I need more people here. I need more people here. I want this very broadcast to go as far as possible. If you haven't liked or shared the broadcast, I don't know what you are waiting for. Those of you watching on YouTube, please share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook. If you're watching from Facebook, please share on Facebook, share it everywhere, because I want more people to join this very live presentation. Very, very, very important. Now let's move.
Chief, what sort of political agreement do you think could be reached, with the federal government, between Kanu and the federal government, to secure his release?
Yeah, the political agreement we are looking at is where the federal government will understand that Nnamdi Kanu is like, they're looking at Nnamdi Kanu represents what is happening in the southeast of Nigeria. It represents the agitation by the whole youth of the southeast. It represents the level of unemployment. It represents the marginalization of the people of the Igbo. It represents how people are aggrieved about what is happening in Nigeria, how the Igbos are treated. So when we're talking about a political solution now.
Oh yes, we have all heard what our people are saying and our ears are filled up, because information is what makes us bigger than them, smarter than them. And you must not stop listening and getting information. Any day you stop getting information, know that you have locked up yourself. That is why you follow us up. Okay, when we update you, we know why. You get a why. You understand? So, our people, you should be ready. The time is now, not later. Now it is better. You understand? We know Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has gone through thick and thin, through chains and keys, because of this Biafra. And if he's still there, holding his head straight, why are you bending your head? We have to stand strong with him and pray more for him to, to overcome this kind of situation. Biafra or nothing. Our freedom now, not later. Thank you very much for your time on this very good channel. God bless you all.